Hi folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. Alright, gonna make this quick because my brother's gonna be coming home before long. So happy Friday everybody. I don't have to I have to close tonight, which is why I am doing this video instead of being at work. So I had done a video about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't remember, about why I stopped using my Kobo. And unfortunately for me, I have this nasty ability or nasty habit of like regretting something, especially when you have like 30 some books on your reader. So I put my case back on, and I decided to turn it back on and get back to reading. And I'm currently reading The Hidden Staircase by Caroline Keene. This is the book that is in public domain, not the one with the yellow spine, but this one. And that's why she looks like she's, in a different type of dress. So one of the huge reasons that I definitely promote using what you already have and not buy new ones is that ever since news came out that Amazon was retiring or obsoleting their older models, every time I turn around when people do a video about this, they're always talking about the Kobo Libra Color. And this is my problem with this, and I'm going to be very blunt about this. People don't have fucking money for new e-readers. People don't have fucking money for anything. We have gas prices that are nearly $10 a gallon. There's a guy who took a photograph of it for a history book. We have people that can't even afford sometimes to put a roof over their head. You got people that can't even afford groceries half the time. They can't even, they're like, they have all this stuff going on. And so they may have a Kindle that they've had for a couple of years because back when they got it, they were financially in good. And now you're trying to convince them to spend nearly $300 for a new e-reader that they don't need when they have a perfectly good e-reader. And this is my problem with people. Also another problem with people. They push this stuff on people. They are tone deaf. They don't seem to get that we're not in this kind of financial kind of happy bubble. So instead of saying, if you can afford it, but no, I mean, people should not be pushing the Kobo on people, especially when they know themselves that people don't have the money. So let's stop doing that. Let's stop pushing things on people. And yeah, my federal income tax return, I could have easily I could have easily got a Kobo Libra Color. However, I didn't want one. Barnes & Noble brought out a new Nook reading tablet. I didn't buy it. I didn't want it. So yes, I have a Kobo. Yes, I will be the first to admit it's not my most favorite e-reader in the universe, but I'm not getting rid of it because I've got 30 some books on it, and I'm like, no. I do love my Kindle over my Kobo, but I'm still going to use my Kobo because I've got 30 some books and I want to read them. And also, I can't financially be buying books, like multiple copies of the same book over multiple formats. I can't do it. I'm not financially there. Now, early this morning, I got the Will of the Many. I think that's the title of the first book in the Hierarchy series or something like that. I got it on my Kobo. Because my Kobo was the e-reader that was open, and I decided, hey, with it. But yeah, it just freaking pisses me off about people. Like I said, before I even click a video about what's going on with Amazon, I say to myself, I wonder if they're going to mention Kobo. And then as it progresses on, I'm like, okay, when are you going to mention Kobo? And bam, they mention Kobo. And what is the model they mention? The Kobo Libra Color. the most expensive e-reader that Kobo sells. They don't talk about the Kobo Clara BW. They don't talk about the Kobo Clara Color. It's always the Kobo Libra Color. It's like that is the model they're addicted to. If you have influencers people with large following will say, look at my new e-reader, the Kobo Libra Color. And then, of course, you have other people go, oh, I just bought a Kobo Clara BW. And I'm like, good for you. So yeah, it's all marketing. It's not about giving you information on what's going on. It's a marketing. Because they have to slip Kobo into it. They have to slip it in there. Because they want to market that e-reader. They have to market it. And you got people that can't afford a roof over their head sometimes. Barely makes their rent. They can barely put food on their table. They've got a 5-year-old Kindle that still works. They hear about Amazon making these older models obsolete, and they're thinking, oh my god, I gotta get a new e-reader because, before long my e-reader is gonna be obsolete. Why? I mean, why are we even doing this in this situation, in this climate environment where people don't have money to afford basic necessities, but they happen to have a reader. And even if they have the old readers, they can just download the books that they've got on there. But instead of saying, if you can afford it, you can go ahead and do the upgrade. But if you can't afford it, just continue to use the reader you got until all your books are read. And then I'm like, why don't you just take that old reader that's now is about to be obsolete, just press all your download of all your books, okay? Then read them, and as you're reading them, save up a little bit of. If you have a job, just put a little bit of money aside with each little paycheck, a little bit of money aside. And then when you have finished reading the last book of your now obsolete Kindle, go and get an upgraded Kindle. Now, if you have enough money saved up to where you could buy, say you don't want a Kindle anymore, and, oh hey, let me buy a Kobo. Get the Kobo Clara BW. Get it. Get this. Okay? Get this model. Or just put the money aside, and when Christmas comes around and the company sells these on discount, get. But make sure that you're make sure that you can afford to do it. Don't go and spend $100 bucks on Christmas time for a Kobo Clara and you can't even afford to put food on your table. Don't do that if you have trouble to pay your rent, to pay your utility bills. If you have an obsolete Kindle, just use that until you've read all your books. And then, if you can do it, if you can do it, buy a new Kindle or buy a Kobo. But don't do it because some influencer is telling you got to have the most expensive e-reader on the market. Because you know why they can say it? You know why these people can afford one? Either they get sent one for free by Kobo, or they've got a good paying job where they can afford to shell out money. Now, if your income tax returns come in, go ahead and buy one if you want. But if you have a 9-to-5 job where most of your money goes towards rent, utilities, and food, don't go into debt. Don't go into debt for something you cannot afford. Don't. And then once you do get your device or you get your Kobo or whatever, that you could financially afford, don't worry about buying expensive books. Just use the library. Like you have a Kobo, use the library integration system. Do not, repeat, do not go into debt for a Kobo you cannot afford. As I said before, if you have if you have one of those Kindles that are going to be obsolete, just download all your books that are on it. Read that until you totally have no more books to read. And then, go look. I was on Kobo's website. They have refurbished Kobos. I don't know how much they are because I didn't click it, but they have refurbished Kobos. And refurbished Kobos are generally a lot cheaper than the brand new ones. So if you can afford a refurbished Kindle, even though I didn't have a good experience with that particular part of Amazon, and that's all you can afford, get it. If you get a refurbished Kobo, and it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot happier on your wallet, and you're not going to starve, or you're not going to be homeless, or you're not going to be without power, then get it. People, influencers out there, people don't have money to buy this stuff because of how bad the economy is right now. And I just wish people would seem to get that through their thick skulls. Your viewers, a lot of them barely can afford money to even get to be able to watch your videos on their computer. Why are you trying to push them into a purchase that they can't financially afford? It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And I'm gonna die on the hill. So, why didn't I buy a Kobo Libra Color when I got my income tax return, even though I could have financially afforded one? Because I had other things I wanted to spend that money for. I wanted to get my Kindle Paperwhite. I wanted to get I wanted to get socks. I wanted to get shoes. I wanted to get a new pair of pants. Because those things were important for me to be able to do my job so I could continue to get a paycheck. Did I have time? Did I have the money for an expensive e-reader? No. Now, if my income tax return was only a couple dollars, I sure as heck would not have gotten any of those things because I wouldn't have had the money. But that is my issue. Every one of those videos about what Amazon is doing, I will once again repeat, had the whole thing of, this is my Kobo Libra Color. And I looked at him like, what the hell? Do you even realize that we're in a recession, or are you just so dumb and stupid that you fail to realize that? And, oh yeah, by the way, if you have a Kindle that already works, and it's not one of those ones that are going obsolete, why are you dumping it? Why are you dumping it for a Kobo? Oh, well, my e-reader will be obsolete one day. Yeah, and so will the Kobo Libra Color. The Kobo Libra Color will be fucking obsolete in several years. My Kobo Claire BW will be obsolete in a couple of years. That is the nature of these businesses. Barnes & Noble did it with their e-readers. They've already done it with their earlier models. So, if you have an 11th gen Paperwhite, if you have a 10th gen Paperwhite, and it still works, do not get rid of it and buy a Kobo. Because if you're not in a financial good place where you can buy one and it won't affect your ability to eat, or affect your ability to pay your bills, or ability to put fuel in your car, don't do it. Just keep that Kindle until it dies or it becomes obsolete itself. And then if you're in a good financial situation, then buy a new e-reader. But this thing fucking pisses me off. It is consumerism to the max. Like I said, I have 30 some books on this device. Okay? 30 some books on this device. As soon as I get that Sunday window open, I'm getting a little cheap $13 case that closes, and it has a little clear back on it, and you can put your little stickers on it. And that's all I'm purchasing from Amazon this week. Anyways, just a little bit of reality check from somebody who's dirt ass poor. Yeah, I'm dirt ass poor. I don't have money. I don't have money to throw away on a Kobo Libra color. I don't want a Kobo Libra color. It's going to be muted colors. You're going to get the same kind of color as the Kindle Color Soft because it's the nature of an e-reader, an e-ink e-reader. Anyways, that's my rant and raving about dumbass people, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, as I said, if you cannot financially afford one, just keep the Kindles or Kindle that you already own. Just use that until it dies, you can financially afford a brand new sparkly one. Yeah, don't listen to influencers with like 12,000 or 25,000 followers. They don't live in the real world. They don't live in your world. They don't understand what it's like to worry about putting food on the table. They don't have to worry about, are they going to be able to pay their utility bills? Are they going to be able to pay their rent? Okay? I know I said I was not going to use my Kobo, but I sure as heck not going to throw it away. Shocker. I decided to read the books I have on it. And then, at that point, I will make a decision if I'm going to put my Kobo in storage, which will be in that thing over there. That's from... I don't have the money for storage, people. I don't have the money for storage. That's my storage right over there. But if I decide to continue to keep reading on my Kindle, my Kobo, then I'm going to limit it to only library books. And one library book. One library book because of the processor. Anyways, yeah, I am going to end it there. But yeah, so once again, stop trying to pressure people into buying stuff they do not need. Anyways, that's my video. I'll see you guys next time.